get ready. Not kidding.
Hey everyone, my name is Filipe. I'm from Portugal. I have a company that produces granite countertops, and I also have a YouTube channel, The Lean Crawl.
And I'm Cairns from Canada, and I have a company called Best Damn Doors, and we produce cabinet doors.
So today we are going to talk about how we applied lean outside business to achieve our goal of becoming Ironmans. It all started 1 year ago when Paul Akers, at 57 years old, surprised us, completing 2 Ironmans, and that inspired us to ask the question, can we also do that?
For anyone who doesn't know what an Ironman is, it's a day of just a little bit of activity. You start out with a 3.8 kilometer swim, then you do 180 kilometers on a bike, and if you're not tired by then, you just run a marathon at the end, another 42K.
So many people can get a little bit overwhelmed, and so everyone that thinks about completing an Ironman most of the times hires a coach.
The next thing they do is they run out and get a nutritional advisor, and they get all of the supplements and God only knows what else is out there, and they organize it all and they try and get their diet dialed right in.
They start following a complex training with interval training and lots of hours every week on the bike, running and swimming, which can become a big consumption of time and money.
Then there's the gadgets. They never end. You can start with watches and heart monitors and things you put on your pedals to tell you how hard you're pushing. And then you can just spend another $1 million on the bike, like forget about it on the bike. So those are the gadgets.
And for us, we had basically some problems. We didn't have the cash, and we didn't have the time to pursue an Ironman that way.
And when it comes to skill for me, I hadn't swam or ridden a bike since I was about 5.
So at this point, we could start coming up with all the excuses why we couldn't do an Ironman, or we could start thinking about a better way to do it.
So we thought about the word impossible, and thought, where have we heard the word impossible before? And about 2 years ago, we totally switched our business model at my factory. We started making doors, and we were making about 50 a day. And I told the guys, I'm like, hey, listen, man, if you want to be around, we're going to need 100 a day. And they told me, 100 a day is impossible. I said, okay, whatever. So we kept our nose to the grindstone. We kept doing the 2-second lean, making our improvements. Before I knew it, we're posting 130 doors. Then, not too long after that, we posted 208, and I just found out I wasn't there, but on Friday we did 224. Same crew, same resources.
So we asked ourselves, so lean has already proven that it works for us in our companies, it also worked in my company. So instead of going the way that most people go, we decided to take the less traveled road. We decided
to go lean.
Beautifully done, by the way.
Thank you. We're practicing that outside. So what we did is we developed our training plan. We thought, you know what, we're just going to keep it easy. Most of our workouts were running under 5K. The bikes were under 40K. And for me, I only swam like maybe once a week, and Philip twice a week. So we kept our workouts just almost too easy.
And during that same period, I did a road trip, 6 weeks with a camper van with my family. I visited some of you that are here in the audience. And since the processes were so simple, like small runs, small bike rides, sometimes I just get off the camper van on the last 50 kilometers. My wife would drive the kids to the next place, and I would just run after them on the bike. It was easy, and I kept doing it all throughout the road trip.
And then Philip made me put this slide in of showing off his hot body while he's doing all those workouts. So we're improving our bodies a little bit at a time. And then there's another shot where we're also improving the equipment as we go. And that's, Philip has a YouTube video of this, how he modified the helmet so we could listen to his iPod while he's riding.
So at the same time, we were improving our equipment, improving our body and our endurance. We used that time to be listening to audiobooks on Audible while we were riding or while we were running. We were also improving our minds at the same time. We also used YouTube as a source of information, of improvements for the technique for swimming or for running, and we all the time kept learning while we were preparing for the Ironman.
And then it came to the gadgets. We looked at the gadgets and we said, No way. No gadgets for us. We don't need anything. We're going to use the one thing that we already have in our pocket, and that's all we rock the whole time for all of our training.
For supplements and nutrition and vitamins and the complex diet plan, we also skip that and we focused on natural foods, fruits, vegetables, meat, eggs, and water.
And having a training partner in another country provides some interesting challenges. I got me in Canada, Filipe is in Portugal, and Paul, like, who knows where Paul is?
We used Voxer, WhatsApp, and Strava to bridge the gap that separated us geographically, and it also allowed us to share our progress along the way, share the improvements, and keep each other motivated.
And it worked. In the last 4 weeks of training, Filipe decided to up his training from 5 hours a week to 12 hours a week.
And while I was working my ass off, Brad came to Germany to work out with Michael.
Thank you, Michael. Filipe beat me by an hour. So race week comes, and we took our ladies, the four of us, we hit Hamburg, and we ran into some unbelievably hot weather. During the day you could survive, but it was at night. There's no air conditioners in Germany. We're dying, and I'm hanging out with the Pasta King. I decided I better carb load, so I was like from here to here with pasta every single night.
After 1 year, finally the race day came. We had the opportunity to experience for the first time how Ironman race really was. Great vibe, great atmosphere. It was a very long day.
So how did we do? We've got the t-shirts on, we managed to finish the race, but that wasn't the most important part. One of the coolest parts about crossing that finish line was actually the principles at work that allowed us to get to that finish line. So what we want to do is we want to go flash back to the beginning of this presentation and hit you with the principles that got us there.
So it all started with Paul leading by example. He didn't tell me or Brad, hey, you have to do the Ironman. No. Just like Alex in his family, Paul did it, Alex did it, and then he inspired other people leading by example.
Setting seemingly impossible goals. You've got to set, like someone who wakes up in the morning and goes, I want to run for 13 hours. Like nobody does that. So you set these impossible goals for your body, for your company, and it forces you out of your comfort zone to achieve things that you didn't think were possible.
Many times when you have a challenge, you start looking around to what other people are already doing and you copy that. When we looked around for what people did for preparing for the Ironman, I just thought, oh my God, they're crazy. And when we said we are using lean, they looked at us, you are crazy. So anyway, we decided to follow our intuition and apply lean to pursue the Ironman challenge.
So keeping it simple was another principle that we decided to do. We kept our workouts simple, always easy, never risking injury, and we kept our technology simple. We didn't have all of the gadgets, we just used our phone.
Having too much resources often leads to sloppiness and not to better results. Since we were tight on money and on time, we were forced to use our head and not our wallet to achieve our goals.
Say, I can do it. So basically what happened is we came up with this idea, okay, we're going to do this Ironman, and in our head, we already crossed the finish line. Every time we talked, we already crossed. I could picture myself. I remember you saying, I could see myself at the finish line. Before we put on our shoes for the first day of training, we already said, we're going to do this.
Another interesting thing about the Ironman, people do like this insane amount of workouts. Very long workouts, very hard. And I said, I don't want to get injured. I need to spend time with my family. So we decided to like the small 2-second improvements, the small steps, the small increments. So we did small batches. 80% of my runs were done at 6 a.m. It was just 5Ks. But when you do it consistently, you achieve amazing results.
And nothing would be complete without making 2-second improvements along the way. We made 2-second improvements to our equipment all the time, and with those small batch workouts, we were constantly making 2-second improvements to our bodies, and it was unbelievable. I didn't think I had 1 pound to lose before I started this. I lost 15 pounds, like almost disappeared.
And daily learning. Daily learning, and when you start growing yourself in terms of knowledge, that's the starting point for achieving your goals. So using Audible, it's a great technology. Before, you would either run or you would either be stuck in traffic, but now you have Audible, you have technologies that allow you to be learning and getting new knowledge, expanding your vision while you are doing other things. So it was a very big part of the Ironman for us because we grew ourselves as persons, not just like athletes, but also our minds evolved.
Going to the source, we decided that for our nutrition, we want to get, everything comes from the earth, we want to get as close as we could, so we just went as close to the farm as we could for all of our nutrition.
So we might be wondering what is the lean principle that applies to this picture. Lean is fun. Michael is fun. We're still not finished.
So being positive, you're going to be faced with all kinds of adversity. We ran into all kinds of stuff along the way that you're just like, oh my God, but just stay positive and the result will always be 1,000 times better than if you let yourself get bummed out and stressed and start kicking rocks.
Yeah.
And if you live here at Finca Fritz, we call that Nimo Problema, no problem.
You have to keep focused on your goal on race day and most important all throughout the year. And like Greg likes to say, get on it and stay on it.
So what does this Ironman, you'll have to fill in the blank for you. So what does this Ironman and what you're trying to do have in common?
So if you want to achieve anything meaningful in your life, you have to grow yourself.
You have to be doing 2-second lean.
And just like for the Ironman,
no one can do it for you. And now we only have 3 minutes for question and answers.
So what's your next impossible goal, if you have one?
I have the goal of completing an Ironman at 100 years old.
I'm going to try and make money in the woodworking industry.